how does an artist connect with their roots when their hometown is forever changing? In Hoboken, a playwright and actor created a hip-hop musical that explores identity and parenthood in a city very different from the one he grew up in the 1980s.
It was a really tough time for Hoboken. 8,000 Puerto Ricans left across like half decade. Definitely not as Latinx as it once was. When I'm out in the world and I say that I'm from Hoboken, almost everyone is surprised. Hoboken leads with its gentrification history. My parents were gentrifiers. My parents moved to Hoboken in 1980 from the Lower East Side. That's how it works. Only one class of people gets to choose where they live. Quarter Rican is a hip-hop play about how we transmit identity to our children.
You just thought my child was a girl because the color was blanket.
Who gets to claim what cultures? Who gets to live where? It specifically centers around this father named Danny who finds himself in a playground, and he is stewing in all of these questions of identity, trying to figure out if the 25% Puerto Rican that his kid is enough. Is that enough Puerto Ricanness to claim it? And then the flip side of that is the halfie that he is the 50% Puerto Ricanness that Danny is. Is that going to be enough to adequately teach it?
His name is Adrian, or Adrian.
Parenthood is both very wonderful and very complicated. Everyone who says it's the hardest thing you'll ever do, I think, is right. My co-writer, who is the creator of the piece and who wrote the book as well, is also my husband, Gabe Hernandez. We have 2 kids together. Elias is 5.5, and Nico is almost 2.
My father is from the island. My dad's Puerto Ricanness is not an open question, right? Like my dad's Puerto Ricanness is very clear. And then I come along and I'm like mixed up, right? Like my dad happened to, fall in love with an Ashkenazi Jewish lady from Rhode Island. Looking at this baby who's 75% white and will be seen as white and will in all likelihood identify as white, kind of reckoning with the fact that there's a piece of myself that my kid might not ever understand. Not quite. And it's an important piece.
In March 2023, Gabriel Diego Hernandez premiered Quarter Rican at the Miles Square Theater in Hoboken. Named after the city's Miles Square footprint, the theater has been a cornerstone for arts and culture in the city since 2003.
My vision for Miles Square Theater is that we are making brand new plays, world premiere plays for the people of Hoboken. I want to focus on local playwrights who are saying something both about Hoboken and the society at large. A playwright like Gabriel Diego Hernandez, this would be a great opportunity to give him a platform in his hometown to talk about what it's like to have been here and to be raising kids here.
I wrote this show about place and claiming things and communities. I had to share it like in this theater right in my hometown. It's almost like too good to be true.
Someone's pretty far from home. What business do you have here on the wrong side of the tracks?
No business of yours.
Oh.
Gabriel has been working on it and developing it with Pregones PRTT, the Puerto Rican Traveling Theater, and we are co-producing this world premiere production with Pregones. The whole production is directed by the great Jorge B. Merced. So I reached out to them and said, we'd love to do the world premiere with you. We'd love to co-produce it. Start it off in our space. It'll be just the second leg of a world premiere production at your space.
Like a week after. Immediately we were definitely, collaborating with Miles Square Theater. We were kindred spirits who understood why we do art and why art is essential and why the theater that we do has a role in our communities to really question who we are in society and to try to inspire us to be a little bit more than what we think we are.
I haven't done much talking to other grown-ups this week.
The play takes place in a park in Hoboken. His son is playing on the playground and he's talking to another parent.
The Danny character is joined on stage by his musical alter egos, the beatboxing DJ Quenepa
Now what on God's green earth is
and the
going
acerbic
on
rapper
here?
and commentator MC Plátano.
So Quarter Rican was a solo show for much of its early development. We really expanded the field, and in particular, the character of MC Plátano. MC Plátano talks to the audience and offers commentary.
State of New Jersey. Now, Washington Park's on the border.
About a month before we were getting ready to share the piece, Jorge is like, hey, I think MC Plátano needs to be speaking in hip hop. There was a tiny bit of rap in the show at that point, but not very much. And I was like, ooh, good idea. But we have like 3.5 weeks. So then I was like, all right, Rachel, you're up.
So my background is in musical performance rather than theater. When we first moved to New York many years ago now, I used to gig around and perform my own music. Gabe was my accompanist, so we were a tag team in that way. And I wrote Balada de Pablo in the car, recorded on a voice memo, sent it to him, and he was like, great, done.
Gabriel is a first-time playwright, but has been around plays his entire life and career. He is not afraid to push the boundaries of what a play is.
When Hoboken was on fire, 8,000 Puerto Ricans fled, and a bunch of them came here. I'm allowed to move here too.
I think Hoboken, it straddles many worlds. It's not just sort of the gateway to New York for Jersey residents and vice versa. It's also straddling a lot of socioeconomic differences and racial differences. Hoboken's racial makeup has changed a lot and is still changing a lot. And I think that's a huge part of what makes Hoboken special, but also what makes Hoboken complex.
This is a piece that he just wants people to enjoy. The fact that he has this play, and it's not only about identity, it's also about parenthood, I think it's just perfect for the community.
A lot of the things that who we are, how we stand, how we talk, the things that we like, they are so informed by the role that family plays in our upbringing. And this show is really about that.
As long as we raise a good boy who becomes a good man.
What began very much as a exercise in like memoir, free writing, ultimately became kind of like this love letter to my kid. You know, it's like a show about family.